Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69 and welcome back to another top 5 episode, and this time we have literally version 2. We've already seen it before, but this is the top 5 tanks that you never see in Blitz. And first up, the AMX 1357. Only 103 people are playing this tank. The AMX 1357, it's an autoloader with 6 shells, and it's actually a really fun tank. It is a tier 7 tank, but you know what? It's quite easy to ace. I aced it, Fizzy aced it on stream today with me, so it is quite an easy ace. But you just never see him. You never see him in battle, which is why, of course, it is such an easy ace. It's a good tank, it's a fun tank, and when it does come for sale, it's quite cheap. And it's definitely a tank I would recommend. Definitely a tank I would recommend. Next up, the IS-2 Berlin. Now, a bit more people are playing this, 340. This is a tank I don't like. The armor profile, I mean, you can bounce shots, which we're going to see here. The gun is literally, it's a hit and miss. It's a hit and miss. It's been around for a while. Obviously, this come with the Rudy, I think it was, or the Cromwell B, sorry. It's an okay tank at best, and that's why now I can't remember the last time this come for sale. But it's quite rare nowadays, and not a lot of people are playing it. Next up, the Pilot, the T25 Pilot. 156 people have been playing this tank, and my first opinion on the tank was not so good. It wasn't so good, and it's actually become quite a meme. People ask me to play it on stream because they know I hate the tank. Now, you know what? I don't hate the tank. I don't think it's a great tank. The reason why I was so mad about the tank is because it is just an average tank. There is nothing good about it. There is nothing really that bad about it. Wargaming bought this into crates, and it's just a meh tank. And I was more pissed off because they should just bring it. Not because it's not OP and it's in crates. Yeah, I don't think that any OP tank should be in crates. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's Wargaming were selling this in crates when it's a shit. It was a kind of shit tank. If they would have just sold it outright, okay, fair enough. But you know, they didn't. Next up, another tank you hardly ever see, and that's the Chrysler K. Now, 399 people have been playing this tank over the last 90 days. Now, we're going to watch Cuba Rockety here, and the tank is a very good tank. Now, people were very worried when Wargaming announced they were bringing this tank into the game. Now, if you follow what PC, obviously this came into the game, and if you follow Sir Foch, it was a big hoo-ha about him where he made a video because of this tank. Fuck you Wargaming, blah 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 blah, and he basically got copyright striked, which they later removed, and it caused a massive upset on PC. So when Wargaming released that they were going to sell this tank, a lot of people were worried that it was going to cause the same kind of issues. But you know what? It is very balanced. I think this tank is perfectly balanced. It's got good armor. It has got good armor. The frontal armor is okay. The turret armor is good. The gun depression is not so good, but as soon as you start turning to the side, that's when you get I think it's 10 degrees of gun depression from the side, like we are here. That's when you get the 10 degrees of gun depression. When you're facing your gun forward, you're probably barely even getting 5 degrees. So, of course, when you are angled like this, to get that gun depression, you are exposing your side armor, which isn't the greatest. It's really only your turret and your front plate that is quite strong. And it hasn't got the greatest of penetrations either. It's basically, I think it's a T32 gun. So the gun on the T32 isn't great at all. It has to rely on the armor, it has to rely on Pramo, and that's the same as the Chrysler K. It has the armor, It has the gun depression from the side, of course. It has the DPM. The DPM's pretty good. It just doesn't have that penetration. But we're actually going to watch this game through because Cuba just showcases how good of a tank this can be. Now, I played this tank a while ago. Well, not so long ago, but before the update in a stream. I had one game and I managed to get an ace. And we had actually a really, really good battle. I was hoping to record that, but unfortunately I couldn't manage to record it in time. So we are going to watch Cuba here. It is now a 1 versus 4. He is full hit points though, but there's still a lot of hit points to get through. There's a tier 9 Yag Tiger that is full hit points. There's the Tiger 2 that's half hit points, and of course there is 2 other tanks. Now this is what I mean about the gun depression from the side. That's where this tank is really, really good. Hold down as well. If you hold down, it's really good, but then of course you do have to expose your side to get that gun depression, and you can just see how good gun depression that is and how bad the gun depression is now. But he still managed to get the hatch on the Tiger to clear him. So he's at the moment he's blocked 660 damage. Now he's gonna focus this Yag Tiger. I would probably go for the Rev if he can, because obviously it's a quick tank. We know that the Yag Tiger has the DPM, but this has the speed. Now it would be good if this tank had the speed boost. I don't think it would be OP, but it would be good if this tank had that extra, the special speed boost. I think it would just make it a little bit better, because it's not the greatest of tanks. It's not a tank I would go to have fun in tier 8. It's a good tank, don't get me wrong, it is a good tank, and I would recommend buying this tank if it comes at a good price. But other than the armor profile when used correctly, there isn't that much to go by, and we're going to see. You're going to think the tank is kind of OP now because of these enemy tanks. Now he's ignoring the IS-6, he's ignoring the Yag Tiger, and he is now going for the M4A1 Rev. He is only on 500 hit points. He manages to clear that guy. He's on 3 kills. He's blocked 1000 damage, and he's now on 3.7k damage. There's still quite a lot of hit points, and you can see there just how bad the penetration is. He can't even pen the front of a Yag Tiger with a PCR. He is able to pen the bottom plate of the Yag Tiger, but obviously you need to get yourself into those kind of positions to get that shot off. So now I'm not sure why this IS-6 didn't rush. He decides to just sit in front. They should really be rushing together. And I think maybe that is what the IS-6 is waiting to do. He's waiting for the Yag Tiger, but the Yag Tiger goes with the IS-6. The IS-6 shoots the I think it was the bottom of the turret, and now this was a very risky move. He's actually trying to get behind the Yag Tiger, and he does it really well, but he is going to expose himself to the IS-6. You can see him trying to angle up, and that is such good play. Great play. And now he bounces that shot from the IS-6. Hopefully he can face hug him and get close to him and bounce a couple more shots. He definitely needs to bounce a shot. There's a penetration there now. He is now a 1 shot, so he has to bounce. He needs to shoot this guy with AP to get his DPM up a bit. He has to bounce. If he can bounce 1 more shot, he may outdo him on DPM. And there we go. He bounces that shot. 2000 blocked damage now. He's on 5.6k damage. Can he clear this guy in 1 shot? No, he can't. 73 hit points left. He needs to bounce again. He has to. And of course, he is going to. So 2.4k blocked damage. And he ends on 5.9k damage. So that is the kind of thing the Chrysler K can do. It is a shame that it's not so popular in Blitz at the moment. I thought it would be. But, you know, if they resell it, it's not a tank they resell often. But, you know, it might come again and it might be popular. So next up is the Panther M10. Now, only 228 people have been playing this tank over the last 90 days. And again, it's one of those, why? Why isn't this tank that popular? It's a Tech Tree premium tank. Anyone can buy this, and this was one of my first premium tanks that I bought. It was in the Tech Tree. It was okay back then. There was nothing special about it. I loved the DPM.
The DPM is fantastic, but you know, it's power creep, isn't it? This is what power creep does to you. There's just too many overpowered tier 7s now, and it's just kind of put this tank down the pecking order, and no one buys it. Even though you can buy it for a fairly good price, no one buys this tank, and it's a shame. It is a shame, because I enjoy this tank. It would be good if it had a bit more penetration, because the penetration isn't great. So I think Wargaming should start buffing. I know they buffed the IS-6, they buffed the T34 before, they buffed the Lerva before, they have buffed this a little bit with the penetration before, but I think Wargaming should start buffing these Tech Tree premium tanks. They are available to everyone, and they should make these good tanks, because they're available to everyone. They shouldn't just make tanks in crates OP. Maybe start making some OP premium Tech Tree tanks, so everyone has the chance to buy them. But other than that, it's not that great with penetration. When it works, and this game here we managed to get 5 kills and we get the ace, so it's a pretty easy ace. So that is another top 5 tanks that you never see in battle, version 2. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye.